Top Gun Maverick takes flight in so many fun and unexpected ways. Well, at least for me. What's up? It's Tech and this is GVN. Let's roll the thing. Hey, what's up? Welcome to the channel. This is GVN, where we review movies, series, comics, animations, and video games. It's a movie this time. It's a classic. It's one that came from the 80s, 1986 to be precise. This is the sequel, Top Gun Maverick. It stars Tom Cruise, Jennifer Connelly, Val Kilmer, and a couple of people from the very first movie, and then a new group of people. And the new group is pretty much like the next gen pilots that we are seeing. So the much younger people, those in their 20s or 30s, like the way Tom Cruise was back in the 80s. And the funny thing about Top Gun Maverick is it's a sequel, right? Like it's a sequel that is well over 30 years in the making, and whether they planned to do it or not, it's here. And it still was able to build off the success and the very, very major fine points of the initial one. Now, for me, going into this movie, I had not seen the 1986 version. It's something that, well, as much as I love movies and I still love some classics and movies from Charlie Chaplin, for example, no words, just actions, old school black and white, I still love some of them. There are some that I'm not just so motivated to watch. I bet some of you might also feel like that sometimes. And that was how I felt about the original Top Gun. But then after watching this movie, I really wanted to now go back and watch the original because it just felt so good. Since Tom Cruise as an actor is someone whom is 59 but is still a movie star whom I respect. It's someone whose stuff that I would always want to watch. I mean, Ghost Protocol, that's Mission Impossible, the next part is coming out later. That's the first part of the final part is coming out next year, 2023. I am so looking forward to that. I love Tom Cruise in the Mission Impossible series. One of my favorite movies of all time, if you guys have seen it, is Edge of Tomorrow, starring Tom Cruise and Emily Blunt. It's awesome. Live, die, repeat, live, die, repeat. It's so much fun. I really enjoyed it. So getting to see Tom Cruise reprise his role as Pete Maverick Mitchell, yes, it's the titular role and it's named after this part. It was very, very fun and refreshing to see. Now, speaking of him, is someone whom clearly only loves to fly, and because of that, he never wanted a promotion. So if you look at his records, his military records, he's someone who has done this and done that and has gotten the Purple Heart and that heart and that heart and this recommendation. Like, if he wanted the promotions, it was even stated earlier in the movie that it would probably be an admiral or even somewhere in the Senate by now, because that's how many achievements is racked up. But the man loves to fly. So he's avoided promotions in every way. He just stayed on captain, which will still let him be out on the field. But then in this case, it's now more of him being grounded, and he has to train the next generation of pilots, because it's either that or he gets dismissed from the Navy. And so this was now him training the next set. And of course, one thing this movie promises is a lot of action, a lot of fighter jets and aviator glasses and people that enter a room and believe that they are the best, because the best from every class was actually picked for this particular mission, and it was fun. It was a breath of fresh air to watch. Val Kilmer, he still reprises his role. Now, Val Kilmer in real life actually has throat cancer, which is like a really, really, really painful thing. Imagine the one thing or one of the major things you're using to make your money now gets affected by a disease that is almost incurable, and even after it's cured, it still leaves a serious damage. Yeah, that was watching him in this movie have his time with Tom Cruise was a really, really touching moment, knowing that he's playing the character who has this problem, but he also has it in real life. You get, and talking is a pain. Anything that has to do with your throat, eating, swallowing is a pain. Like we know how cancers can be. So now imagine having that in your throat. One of the major things you absolutely need to use 24/7. So it was touching. It was a nice moment. It did not feel like they were pandering in any way. It did not feel like it was irrelevant in any way. It fits well with the story. From the very beginning, I'll say one thing I really, really appreciate about this movie, and I give them high props for, is none of it felt slow. None of it felt drawn out. Every scene felt like it had a purpose in this movie, and that was something I really enjoyed. It was just such a breath of fresh air. I don't remember enjoying my cinema experience this much in a long time, and I'm not kidding. And this is me that I saw Multiverse of Madness just some weeks ago. But truth be told, I maybe it was maybe because there were only, unlike Marvel movies, right, and any other movie that has a lot of noise behind it. Top Gun Maverick, at least for this part of the world here in Lagos, Nigeria, doesn't have that much noise behind it. So when I was in cinema, we're just like, I think it was just 4 or 5 of us. I think, and then a cinema should normally be able to say about 100 people, right? So maybe it was that, or maybe it was. I think a lot of it also goes to the movie itself. But I remember just feeling so good while watching this movie, and even after watching this movie, it just felt so good. Like, I felt good. Really, I felt really good watching this movie. It's one that I would definitely recommend. I'll say one thing about this movie though that felt a bit like a con for me was, okay, so the focus of this movie is fighter jets, pilots, flying, dogfights in the air, which all of which were really good. The maneuvering, the training, everything was awesome in this movie, right? But the one thing that I believe was also very deliberate on their part, because they were trying to maybe avoid any negativity around it, was the enemies didn't actually have a particular flag or country or identity behind them. The only time you would see enemies is when you are seeing the dogfight. So you're seeing this epic dogfight between fighter jets in the air. It's awesome. It was beautifully choreographed. The action was dope. Everything was awesome. But then there was a part where you should actually expect to see human enemies come at them, because at this point they were no longer in the air, they were on ground. But then for some reason there were no human enemies, and when we saw human enemies, it was human enemies doing something somewhere around the base, right? We did not see any faces. So the faces you would see are faces of the main cast and the supporting cast, but you would not see any enemy face, you would not see any enemy flag, you would not see anything. So I know it was definitely deliberate on their part. It felt a bit fake to me, but then minus that being nitpicky, everything about this movie was just so well done. It was so solid. The stunts, man, and the craziest part is a lot of these things were not green screen. They were actually done for real. So that's even, and that's the kind of person Tom Cruise is. Even at 59, he's still doing all of these stunts. And this movie should have been released like way back, like I think about 2 or 3 years ago. But then they stuck it out. They were like, they will wait till cinemas are fully open before they release it. And I think they made a good decision with that, because I would have also appreciated watching this in the cinema like I did, than maybe watching it at home streaming later on when it comes out on digital. So hats off to them for sticking to their guns and deciding to do this. And personally, I would advise that a lot of you just go out to the cinema, support this movie, because it's actually one I don't think you will regret. It's a really fun action movie. It's well paced. There are funny moments. There are all moments. There are really heart touching moments. Jennifer Connelly plays, and she reprises her role as also his love interest from the very first movie, and she was really nice. The chemistry between all the characters in this movie also was great. That was something that I also really appreciated and I liked about this movie. The use of music in this movie was also one that was really nice. I think it really helped with the engagement. I shazammed like 2 songs, and one was by Lady Gaga, and I think the other one was by One Republic. They are really nice shazamable songs. There are parts where the music really played a very important role, where you see that you listen and you be like, this one is triumphant music, and then the next one you be like, this one is music of sacrifice. I think someone is about to die. Really, music played a really important role in this movie. Hats off to the team. I really like that. And one thing, I think the general feel of this movie that I would say I liked, it had that 80s, early 90s vibe, where there was over the top action, there was music, where you hear "Eye of the Tiger," that kind of stuff. It had that vibe, but then it had that 80s vibe, but then it was contemporary and modern enough for today's audience. So it was just such a perfect blend of 2 different eras, and I think they nailed it with this movie. I really enjoyed it. This is a movie that I'd happily go to the cinema and watch again. Like, that's how much fun it was, because the action was well done, the story was well paced, the characters, Miles Teller, Glenn Powell, Monica Barbaro, John Hamm, everybody brought something to the table. This was so much fun to watch. I absolutely recommend it to everyone. Top Gun Maverick, it's a dope movie. It's an amazing watch. It gets a 9.5/10. It would get a 10/10, but because of that human element, which I know was deliberate, and maybe they should have written something else around it. But then overall, honestly, it was so much fun. It was a ton of fun, and I would definitely recommend it to you guys to watch also. You probably noticed on the channel already, and if you haven't, you can click here to find out. We started uploading gameplay videos, so that's something that we do on the channel. We are also about video games, and if you like the last one, it was a Ghost of Tsushima one, let us know in the comment section. We intend to upload more gameplay videos too. We love playing games. We know you guys love watching video games and also love playing games, so if you want us to keep uploading these types of videos, let us know in the comment section down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share. It truly helps the channel, especially your comments too, because it helps the recommendations and it helps more people to find the channel. A lot of work goes into these videos, trust me. So we really appreciate every single one of you for your support so far on the channel. This has been Tech for GVN. If you like the review, feel free to check out this one or this one next. Live long and prosper.